Happy holidays, everybody. It's your boy, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. But today, Santa Von is all about getting out the goodie bags, you know, our little stocking stuffers. So let's reach right on in and pull out Random D&D Story Grab Bag Part 1. Because, hey, listen, we've got a lot of these little stories sitting around, and you can incorporate yours into ours by putting a story in the comment below. Who knows? We might pull it right out of Santa's stocking too. But until then, let's dig right into this little goodie bag of fun. Let me set the stage for this story. There's a race of demigods called the Creodon, which I'm borrowing from Scorp's setting. Everybody say hi to Scorp. He is our writer. They're basically a race of mortals who achieved godhood through advanced technology. In this shared multiverse, their world has been integrated into a coalition of worlds ruled by the Over-Goddess and her pantheon. The pantheon respects the Creodon and are fond of them. Then we have this notorious organization that's been around throughout the eons of this shared multiverse setting, and they're called the Bloodfang. They've been wiped out and reformed many times, but have expanded to all the realms of the Nexus to take the jobs no decent individuals really want to do. They're discreet, care nothing of morals, and operate in the dark underbelly of any society they exist in. In the campaign I'm running, in the session that finished not 4 hours from the time of posting this, a couple of chaotic douchebag characters working for the Bloodfang were running around doing all sorts of comical and morally questionable things. One of them, Bryog, found love and told his Creodon girlfriend to remove the mark of the Bloodfang from his flesh. The other one, Yami, didn't care for that and decided he wanted to deliver proof of a successful assassination mission to the Bloodfang. There's, only one problem. Bryok murdered the former leader of the local Bloodfang chapter with a Creodon weapon a couple sessions ago, basically disintegrating him on his cushy leather chair. So, Yami entered to a messy scene of several older Bloodfang leaders consulting about who should be the next chapter leader. Yami thought he would tell on his friend and said he knew the killer and that he was a Creodon working with Bryok. This sent the elders into a frenzy, and they swore to banish the mighty Creodon from the realm. Yami rolled a natural 20 on persuasion and quite high in other rolls. Things were looking up, until he decided against doing the smart thing and shutting up. You know, I happen to have a couple of Creodon friends myself who are very close. The best Creodon. One Bloodfang leader brandished a dagger at that revelation, and Yami noticed it. I told him to roll for his next part. He rolled very well for intimidation. They will come here if you hurt me. At which point one of the elders dangerously asked, Do they know you are here? No, he said without thinking. So they reenacted Julius Caesar and the Senate, with him as the center of attention, finishing him off before he could escape into the street where they wouldn't openly kill him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, is why you keep your mouth shut until a lawyer is present. The party consisted of a rogue, me, a paladin, Hector, 2 clerics, Phil and Snow, and an NPC, Wizard. We spent much of the campaign in Undermountain, and eventually found ourselves in Skullport. A cult was trying to revive a dead elven goddess into the prime material plane, and we were on a bit of a time crunch. We're talking maybe days. We met with a slaver in Skullport who knew where the cultists were based. In exchange for this information, we had to retrieve a magical orb. Getting to the orb wasn't terrible. The orb itself, however, that was the real problem. It was intelligent. Only the person who fought it in a mental duel could pick it up. Hector stepped up and accepted the challenge. What followed was a harrowing battle between Hector and his blackguard opposite, all within his mind. Oh, it was close, but the paladin won out. Then, before we could react, he raised up his sword and brought it down on the orb, breaking it in two. He said it was evil and needed to be destroyed. I argued that wasn't ideal, but we needed it to buy the information. We make a deal with a lesser evil for the greater good. That kind of concept, right? It always goes well, right? Right? Hector said, We'll have to get it some other way. Then left. I took the broken orb and returned to Waterdeep as well. Maybe we could fix it, and it would be enough, I thought. Phil and I refused to join the Paladin and stated our case to Snow. Snow then went to the paladin and persuaded him to pay us to come back. 10k gold each. Man, that's expensive. Phil and I used that 20k along with another 10k to fully restore the orb and its magical properties. The intelligence within was still destroyed, but the orb would still greatly enhance the mental abilities of the wielder. I teleported back to Skullport and traded for the information. When I returned topside, I set up a meeting with Hector to make peace. One potion of glibness later, and we went into the final chapter of the campaign, with the paladin none the wiser. The kicker? The slaver was an illithid in disguise. From the party that brought you Magic Mammoth Headlights. Call 1-800-MAGIC-MAMMOTH. So our party includes, among several others, a pirate who was wanted in a particular region of Eberron, which is pretty much a pirate's haven. This particular pirate cleric, Nox, was on top of their most wanted list. So we had to figure out a way of getting them in without getting arrested at the border. While on an airship inbound to our destination, our party decided that the best idea was to dress him in drag, shave his beard. He was a human who could pass for a dwarf because he was so hairy, and dye his hair blue. So the party split up asking other female passengers to possibly donate some clothing, and 4 agreed to do it as long as they could see our handiwork when we were finished. After agreeing and fulfilling our end of that bargain, our party made it to port and checked in with one very unattractive blue-haired, suspiciously manly woman in tow. As we were about to get inside, a guard looked at our newest party member, then over at his wanted poster, trying to figure out if they were the same. My dragonborn sorcerer chimed in,
"Oh, this is my lovely fiancée."
He leaned in close to the guard and muttered,
"She may not be the prettiest thing, but she has other talents." Mwah.
Giving the guard a seductive eyebrow waggle. I can't. Oh, God. Our DM asked me to roll deception, and then boom, nat 20. Both the guard and the DM playing him had a mini mental breakdown for a sec before the guard waved us by, before my dragonborn could elaborate on his new fiancé's
special skills.
We then continued to play off the lovebird charade for the rest of the session. One time, I played an arsonist knight. I ended up being seduced by a dragon bard. Truly an incredible love story. In the same party was a rogue that soloed a Tarask at the cost of her life. Okay, explain? The party was trapped in an otherworldly garden, seemingly cut off from the rest of reality. We didn't realize this at first, of course, and tried to think of various ways to escape. At this moment, one member remembered something. He had been carrying around roughly 30 pounds of powdered bones. He then spent several minutes teaching the DM about dust explosions before proceeding to use the bag of bone dust as a breaching charge to escape the garden. At a local game, my reformed succubus bard paladin character caressed Wall to seduce it. I rolled so high on charisma that I made it blush. We called it the bloody gnome in a barrel trick. I just call it a gnome in a blender. It involved a goblin corpse, a blood hunter gnome, and me, the paladin, having the worst luck in the world. Tried to throw the gnome, who would explode the corpse mid-flight to intimidate the enemies. Failed to throw. So decided to kick the fallen barrel. Ended up stubbing my toe. Sounds like me. The DM described the confusion on the face of the enemies as we effectively just did a Three Stooges act while trying to fight them. Whoop, 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 whoop. In my boyfriend's first homebrew game, I convinced an orc to commit suicide using control flames. He was alone in a room with just a torch, so I snuffed it out using the cantrip and then started pretending to be his god. Because orcs are highly religious in this setting. I convinced him that the only way to redeem himself is to, well, sacrifice himself. And he did it without questioning it. Needless to say, I am riding that wave of creative pride to the grave. Kind of like your boyfriend's character. In D&D, there are actually 3 other colored dragons that aren't mentioned in recent editions. And these 3 other colors encompass Tiamat's sister's heads. This was written by Lloyd Allen Richard. They are orange, purple, and yellow. And it's honestly a cool little tidbit of info. So let's just say that my players were completely baffled when they couldn't meta game the dragon that came from a source back in June of 1998. Or somewhere around then. Good luck with your Back to the Future references now, bitch. My main table is doing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Possible spoilers, I imagine? I say main table because sometimes there's not enough people to start the session, so I join a different one. For background, I'm a dragonborn paladin rogue that grew up as an urchin in one of the 10 towns. He was caught stealing food, but instead of being put to the stocks, the church took him in and raised him as a paladin. We were in the Frost Maiden's lair and a sentient walrus was trapped in the basement. After doing what we were supposed to do in that room, we had to get out. But we also didn't want to leave the walrus there. Did we use Dimension Door to get it up the ice stairs it couldn't get up? No. Did we have it hold its breath and put it in a bag of holding? Oh, absolutely not. We gave it the power of flight. This walrus front flipped and flew out of the Frost Maiden's lair and into the sky, singing a victory song as he went. We watched him go until we lost sight of him, then continued on our way. TLDR, we gave a talking walrus the power of flight, and he sang his way into the sky until we couldn't see him anymore. Which reminds me of Space Walrus. It's a space walrus. If you don't know that, go check it out on YouTube. Space Walrus. You won't regret it. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to ring that bell to get notified when we post a new video, or in the rare event we go live. Speaking of, if you'd like to include your little story to our little stocking stuffer, grab bag, goodie bag stuff, please do so down below. You never know if Santa Vaughn might just pluck one out of the air there and just read it out loud. We don't know, because this is all for fun. The random little goodie bag here, this is all you guys and gals and non-binary pals, all of you just throwing random stories at us that we find funny or silly or otherwise just cool and cute. And hey, if you got a holiday-themed one, hey, I would say put it in the comments below or make a subreddit post on r/MrRipper, because I think we could do with some holiday cheer in D&D, can't we? That said, if you want to come say hi to me, Brian Von VA, you can come do so on Twitch, or if you look in the link in the description below, you can actually see my website, and way down at the bottom there, you can see my Twitch. Come say hi to me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, and as a bonus, this is my little bit of positivity at the end of the video. I want to do something special for the MrRipper crew too. So when the MrRipper channel gets to 200,000 subscribers, and of course I, in consequence, get to 1,000 followers, I'm going to do something really nice on my Twitch. Something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. I'm just going to go onto the subreddit dressed up as Santa, or not really Santa, but maybe maybe like a D&D character in a Santa's hat, and just read some of your stuff. Just the most random stuff on there. Look at the memes and whatnot for like 2 hours. We're not going to obviously do story thread things on there. No. That's totally different. That's what we put on MrRipper. But I want to give something back to all of you by making you smile and laugh and just get to know all of you. So come say hi and make sure to keep subscribing and go follow me too. I love you all. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy during these holiday seasons, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.